Today's episode is brought to you by Mazars. SoundCartel. What is SEO? More importantly, what is good SEO? What SEO isn't is something you can ignore, particularly if you want to be found by new customers or clients. And yes, it's an investment in some time and effort, but the rewards are well worth it. From SoundCartel, I'm Nicole Goodman, and this is Business Essentials Daily. If you believe that simply building a website is enough to get people to your online store, think again, says MC Carter, founder and director of online marketing firm Practice Paradox. A crucial step is managing your SEO, or search engine optimization. And one way to do that is by creating engaging content, like blog articles, to entice people to your website and increase your rankings in Google search results. MC has 7 tips on writing great articles with SEO in mind, which he shares in just a moment. First, though, he reminds Chris Ashmore why SEO is important for getting more people to your website.
You are who Google says you are, meaning when someone does a search on a topic that relates to what it is that you do, if you don't show up in Google and at the top of page 1 of Google, you're pretty much a nobody in your market, and that will result in very few people discovering and coming to your website.
So why are blog articles important for SEO?
One of the great things about blog articles is they're very SEO friendly with the search engine optimization, meaning Google is actually in the business of delivering highly relevant, useful search results. Sure, they generate their revenue by selling advertising, but they couldn't do that if they didn't deliver very good search results. So they love it when there is very good quality content, in-depth content on specific clear topics. And blog posts, because they're educational in nature, and that's a key point, Chris, they should be educational, not just veiled advertisements. They should not be promotional in nature. Google loves those because they've got a clear title, clear description, clear structure, and the users of Google, when they're looking for answers to things they want to solve in their life, they really appreciate that as well. So blogs are far easier to get to rank well in Google than, say, the homepage of your website.
Well, you have some tips for us for creating great articles for the website. Can you walk us through each one? I think tip 1 is begin with the end in mind.
Yeah, you can look at that from a few levels, begin with the end in mind. With a blog post, always be really clear who is your target reader. So let's say you're a business like an accounting business. Don't have as your reader small business owners, because that's extremely broad. Have a variety of different topics that speak to, figuratively speaking, very specific target audiences. And then the next thing you need to work out before you even write the article really is what phrase in Google would they search for if they were looking for information like this. So then you're clear on the topic, you're clear on the search phrase, you're clear on the audience, then you can write an article that really, when they're reading it, they're thinking this is exactly what I've been looking for, and this author really seems to understand where I'm at.
Well, next one, tip 2, plan your content.
There's a phrase I read about 12 years ago now that is, every business is now a publisher. And when I first read that, I thought, what do they mean by that? And it was the start of content marketing becoming a really viable and effective form of marketing. And the example given is that a newspaper, a magazine, a podcast series, they don't just think of something off the cuff and then produce it. They think through, they plan ahead. What are the themes across the year that would be timely and interesting to people, relevant? And with your own content, it just can be done in a spreadsheet, but you have a content plan. What are the topics we're going to do, January, February, March, etc. And that way, anyone in your business who's going to help with creating those articles has time to think it through, so when it comes time to writing the draft, that they're not staring at a blank page, they've given it some thought.
Absolutely. Well, the next tip, tip 3, write for your prospects, not your peers. What do you mean by that?
This applies particularly to professional services or technical businesses we've done a lot of work over the years with business advisory firms and accounting firms, financial planning firms, etc. And there's a tendency when someone's highly educated, when they start doing their blogging, they want to show off their knowledge. And they write articles that sadly are too technical, too dry, and they're technically correct and they're technically impressive, but they don't engage their target audience. And I say to our clients, look, you're not writing to impress your peers, you're writing to educate your prospective clients or customers.
Well, next one is invest in quality content production. What do you mean?
Well, content is a project that has a workflow, like any piece of service or any product being produced. It's an assembly line, if you like. So there are people that can come up with the ideas for topics. There are people that might be good at writing the draft of the article because they understand that topic, but they might not be great wordsmiths. So then there's people who can polish that article to make it much more professional. Then there's people that will SEO the article so that it's optimized for the target phrase that has been identified for that article. And then there's someone needs to create and brand an impressive, a relevant image for the blog post. So just there, I've mentioned about 4 or 5 different skill sets. So good quality content doesn't happen by accident. And I think it's really important that people hitch their wagon to someone that understands their industry or profession and can have an ongoing collaborative relationship, because on the flip side, they can't do that themselves. A very important tip for everyone is marketing. To do it well, content, you need to delegate, not abdicate. And abdicate is when you find someone and say, you do my marketing, you do my blog posts, I'm going to pay you X dollars per month, but don't bother me, I don't want to think about it. That will not produce good content. What will is when you work together and have monthly conversations with the people that are helping you to produce that content, because then it'll be fantastic quality across all levels.
Well, the next tip, tip 5, you say appropriately SEO each article. Do you mean filling out the tags and stuff, do you?
Yeah, that's part of it. So with SEOing an article, the first thing is to have a phrase that's 3, 4, or 5 words long. It's called a long tail phrase. So it's a phrase that's quite specific, because it's difficult to rank well for a broad phrase like kitchens Brisbane, if you're making kitchens in Brisbane. And clearly that's not even a topic, right? So once you've got that phrase that you want to rank well for, it can be very cleverly and artfully and intelligently woven into the title. Now, here's a big takeaway for everyone. The headline that people see at the top of the article when they're looking at your website at the blog post, that headline does not have to be the same as the title, which is the blue text they see in the Google search results that they click on, because they serve 2 different purposes. So SEOing is making sure, is the title in Google relevant to the phrase, and is it going to get people's attention so that they click on it? Then is the description, the dark grey text that people see in the Google search results beneath that blue title, is that written in a way that is essentially saying to people, pick me, click me? And then with the article itself, even the slug, which is the end of the web address of the article, blog/kitchens-brisbane-renovations, those words really matter as well. And so they're the tags that you mentioned there, meta descriptions and meta tags. But then there's the article itself. So in the article, you've got to use the phrase but not overuse it. Google's getting smarter and smarter. It's not a matter of jamming. It's called keyword stuffing. It's a bad way of doing SEO. If people just repeat the target phrase over and over again through the article, it'll actually get penalized. So you make sure that the keyword density is the phrase is natural but frequent. It's a balancing act.
Wow, a lot to think of. Well, tip 6, promote the article. How do we do that effectively?
Well, a blog post won't promote itself, and nor will your website's homepage. So promote means promote it to the people that you know and promote it to the people that you're connected to. So forms of promotion include an email newsletter. Everyone should be doing at least a regular monthly email newsletter, letting people know about recent blog posts. Also social posts, so out into whether that's LinkedIn or Facebook or Twitter or Instagram, whichever channels are a fit for who you're trying to reach, and to not just promote it when you first publish it, but if it's an evergreen topic that will be relevant for many months, keep promoting it. And thankfully, you can set up software to do that for you while you sleep. People can even do paid traffic, meaning do ads to send traffic to your blog posts. People would have seen boosted posts in Facebook. They're not necessarily a good idea, but that's yet another way you can have more people see your content.
Well, the last tip 7, is tracking the results.
Well, this is a string of related numbers. So with the website, you want to know your rankings for the phrases that you are trying to rank well for. And for many businesses, Chris, when we talk to them, we say, okay, you just spent all this money on a website before they came to us. What are the phrases you're trying to rank well for? Often they draw a blank that hasn't even been defined, which is a huge mistake. So tracking your Google rankings, tracking your website traffic. So how many people are coming per month? How long are they staying on the page? It should be measured in minutes. A good website will have an average visitor time of over 3 minutes. If it's under half a minute, it means people are coming to your site, not being impressed or engaged by it and just exiting, just clicking back or closing the tab, and that's not good. And ultimately, too, you want to look at the conversion, which means of the people that are coming to your website, how many people are actually downloading information, watching the videos, becoming a subscriber to your email newsletter, connecting to you in your social media platforms as well. All of those things is an example of a conversion, which is a tech way of just saying they've taken another step in your direction.
That was Practice Paradox founder and director, MC Carter. This episode of Business Essentials Daily is produced by the team at SoundCartel. Thanks for listening. I'm Nicole Goodman. We'll bring you more Be Daily tomorrow. Follow @BE Daily Podcast across social media and head to bedaily.com.au for more from the Business Essentials Daily podcast. SoundCartel. This episode was brought to you by Mazars. To find out more, visit mazars.com.au. That's mazars.com.au.